I no longer trust that boy. I want him eliminated. No problem, sir. We can handle it immediately.
Obinna no fit travel abroad over my dead body. Everywhere we go, then they talk say na him they make am for life. Now he want travel go Canada. May we see how he go take travel.
This is the story of a man called Obinna. A hardworking man who did everything he could to make ends meet, provide for his family, and build a better life for the people he loved. But Obinna had no idea that while he was busy working, struggling, and trying to move forward, the very people he called friends, brothers, and family were secretly conspiring behind his back. People who laughed with him. People who ate with him. People who knew his struggles. People he trusted enough to share his dreams with. Yet behind closed doors, they were praying for his downfall, and working tirelessly to make sure he never succeeded. But what they didn't know was that their plans would take them somewhere they never expected. This is the kind of story that stays with you long after you finish watching it. A story about friendship, jealousy, betrayal, trust, and the dangerous things that can happen when people become consumed by envy. It is also a story that many of us can relate to in one way or another. So, sit back, relax, and watch this story all the way to the end. Because somewhere inside this story, there is a lesson that might stay with you long after the final scene. And if you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There are many more powerful, emotional, and unforgettable stories coming your way. Now, let's begin. Obinna was the kind of man who could never afford to sit still. Every morning, he woke up with only one thing on his mind: find work, make money, and somehow keep his family going. There was no steady salary waiting for him at the end of every month. No comfortable office. No wealthy relatives to fall back on. If someone called him for a job, he went. Painting, construction work, small repairs. Anything that could put money in his pocket and food on his family's table. And Obinna never complained.
Hello? Yes, na me be this. Obinna, I need you to come check something for me for the construction site. No problem, sir. I dey come.
There was barely any time to rest. Another customer was waiting. Another job. Another opportunity to make a little money. Obinna picked up his things and set off immediately. Because that was Obinna's life. One job ended, another one began. And sometimes, before he could even catch his breath, life was already asking him to do more.
My pikin, I see say my roof where you repair. How much I go pay you?
Mama, no worry, na small work.
Serve and wear special. Okay, ma.
Abeg, put am for takeaway. 2 plates.
For a moment, everything felt nice. Obinna had stopped by the construction site to share a meal with his friends. Little did he know that, in just a few seconds,
eat, my brothers.
Everything was about to change.
Hey, you always save us with this food.
Babe, your mama dey hospital. Abeg, come back. The thing serious, oh. Abeg, fly, come.
Obinna was completely shocked and devastated when he received a call from his wife, Ada. He never saw it coming. Just a few days ago, he had seen his mother looking perfectly healthy. At least, that was what he believed. But now, she was in the hospital. Without wasting another second, Obinna abandoned everything he was doing and rushed straight there. When he finally arrived, he saw Ada, his wife, beside his mother, doing everything she could to take care of her. But the moment Obinna saw his mother's condition, he froze. This wasn't the woman he had seen just a few days ago. He couldn't understand what had happened, or how everything had changed so quickly.
I didn't tell you because I don't want you to worry. God is in control. All I want is that you are happy.
Obinna was devastated. He couldn't bear to see his mother lying there in so much pain. Overwhelmed by everything he was feeling, he quietly left the hospital room and found an empty room nearby. There, he finally broke down. He cried so deeply that the pain turned into anger. He hit the side of the bed, then sank to the floor, weeping like a man who had suddenly run out of hope. After a while, Obinna wiped his tears, pulled himself together, and walked back to his mother's room. He looked at Ada and asked, "What did the doctor say is wrong with Mama?" Ada shook her head. She only knew that Mama had diabetes and low blood pressure. She didn't know what else was wrong. Obinna asked, "Did the doctor say anything about the treatment? How much will it cost?" Ada looked at him and said she didn't know. She had only been able to pay 100,000 naira for the initial treatment.
100,000? Ada, how you take get that kind of money?
My savings. I know if you just sit down and watch her.
I must pay you back.
No, Obinna, forget them.
Now life and death matter. No, okay, I'll sort it out.
But there was more. The doctors had discovered a serious abdominal mass that needed to be operated on as soon as possible. The low blood pressure had caused the emergency, but the surgery was now necessary to treat the underlying problem. And the estimated cost of the operation and treatment was about 6 million naira. 6 million naira. Obinna stood there in silence. For a man who barely had enough to take care of himself and his mother, the amount sounded impossible. He looked at his mother lying on the bed, and for the first time, Obinna realized that loving his mother would not be enough. Somehow, he had to find the money to save her.
Doctor, please, I have to save my mother. We don't have enough money. Please help us. I'm sorry, Obinna. You need to bring some money first before we can begin the operation.
Obim, I'm already feeling okay. Please take me out of here.
I'm fine now. Doctor said you still need to stay. Just rest, okay?
Wetin doctor talk?
No worry, I beg. Just take care of Mama for me. I dey come back now.
Obinna left the hospital with no idea how he was going to raise the 6 million naira needed for his mother's treatment. He had some money with him, but it was nowhere near enough. Overwhelmed and frustrated, he returned home and sat on the floor, too restless to even enjoy the comfort of the chair beside him. He picked up his phone and started making calls, one after another, asking for help. But everyone he reached out to had their own struggles. Some had nothing to give. Others could only send the little they had. Still, people tried. Because Obinna had spent years being there for others whenever they needed him. And now that he was the one asking for help, many of them wished they could do more. But no matter how many calls he made, the money he needed still seemed impossibly far away.
Why? Why you go send me that kind 100,000 back? Why you send the money back?
Ada, I know if he collect 100,000 from you. I know how you take struggle get that money. I know if you accept them.
Obi, anything we dey to you, they do me. You be my husband. If you dey cry, they cry too. All this money no mean anything.
But, Ada...
No, Obinna. Keep am. When everything don't finally dey alright. I know say you go even give me 10 times this amount.
Ada...
How much we don't gather?
My wife. He never reached 6 million. This now all the money we will fit gather.
That was how Obinna and Ada sat down and began thinking of every possible way they could raise the remaining money. After combining their personal savings with everything people had contributed, they had managed to gather 2.5 million naira. But they still needed 3.5 million more. They looked at each other, searching for an answer and trying to figure out where the rest of the money could possibly come from. Then, just when they were beginning to lose hope, Ada suddenly asked,
"What about Chairman?"
Chairman, if we no meet him demand, wahala go dey. And this one no be small wahala.
Chairman was a story of his own, but there were a few things everyone knew about him. Chairman was a very wealthy and extremely powerful man, but he was also notoriously stingy and very protective of his money. He did not play when it came to his finances, and he was not the kind of man anyone wanted to cross. For years, Obinna had worked for Chairman. He had been loyal, diligent, and trustworthy, always looking out for Chairman's interest. Chairman had said countless times that he owed Obinna for the many times he had gone above and beyond for him. But Obinna never held those words over his head. He knew exactly who Chairman was and the kind of power he possessed. Chairman was a dangerous man who could get away with almost anything, and very few people dared to challenge him. Yet now, Obinna and Ada had run out of options. They had no one else to turn to, and with Momo's life depending on the treatment, they had no choice but to take the risk. So they decided to contact Chairman. Obinna picked up his phone and called him. To Obinna's surprise, Chairman was genuinely happy to hear from him. But Chairman explained that he was currently out of the country and could not help immediately. He promised to get back to Obinna later. Obinna waited. One day passed. Then another. And another. But Chairman never called. With time running out, Obinna and Ada returned to the hospital with the 2.5 million naira they had managed to gather. They pleaded with the doctor to please begin the operation with the money they had, promising to find a way to raise the remaining amount. They had no other choice. They were running out of time.
Doctor, please help us. This na everything we fit gather. Please just start the treatment with this. Alright, we fit start with this. But before next week, you need to bring the balance. No problem, doctor. Please just help us. I'm putting myself on the line for you people. Make sure you pay up before next week. Yes, doctor. Thank you, doctor. We no go disappoint you, I promise.
Obinna, we no go give up. We go find the balance somehow. Everything go start to dey fall into place.
Chairman, they call.
Oya, pick am na.
Obinna, I go dey my usual lounge today. Make sure say you come. Okay, sir.
Obinna, we need to start thinking of how to make better money. What if Chairman plan no work
He go
out?
work, Ada. He must work.
But how far with that tech work where you dey always ask me about?
I don't try, Ada. I don't dey do that thing for years, but nothing really come out of am. Bills plenty. I just tire and leave am.
Obinna, abeg, no give up on am. That certificate where you get, that knowledge where you get, is still dey important. I hear say person fit even post their work for LinkedIn and social media. Maybe big people go see am. You no need sabi everything now. We fit learn am small.
Oya, my wife, as you don't put am for my mind like this, no worry. I go put more effort. I no go give up.
Don't worry, my husband. We go do am together. Maybe this one fit work. We keep trying. Something go surely come out of am.
True. But I still pray say Chairman plan go work. Doctor say we need to bring the balance before next week.
If we no get that money, how we go pay am? We go find a way, my husband. One step at a time.
My wife, I wan go hang out with my guys small. I go spend some time with them, then I go see Chairman.
Abeg, greet them for me. Enjoy yourself.
Obinna, see you. Now you still dey buy today? Abeg, mo na drink. How many years we don dey do this together? Years. Omo, we don chop, suffer, everything together, and we still dey here.
And
Family
that
for
was
life,
how
my brother.
Obinna spent some time with his childhood friends. They had known each other for years and had grown up together, sharing the good times, the struggles, and everything in between. Whenever they were together, their individual problems somehow felt a little lighter, knowing they had each other. After they finished hanging out, Obinna told his friends that he was going to see Chairman to ask for help with his mother's treatment. Of course, everyone was afraid of Chairman. They knew the kind of man he was and the dangerous dealings he was involved in. But they also understood Obinna's situation. He was in a very tight corner, and there was simply no one else who could help him. So Obinna went straight to Chairman's usual lounge. Chairman welcomed him and agreed to give him the remaining money for his mother's treatment. But there was one condition. He wanted Obinna to help him deliver a package. Obinna immediately became uneasy. He knew better than to ask too many questions about Chairman's business, but this time, he couldn't help himself. He asked what was inside the package. Chairman simply told him that he didn't need to know. All Obinna had to do was take it to a specific location near the bridge before midnight, leave it at the agreed spot, and make sure the person came to collect it before he returned home. Obinna left Chairman's place with a lot on his mind. He thought about it over and over again. He knew the kind of things Chairman was involved in, and he knew this could be dangerous. But the doctor's deadline was getting closer, and his mother's life depended on the money. When he got home and told Ada what Chairman wanted him to do, she was immediately worried and tried to discourage him. But Obinna told her there was no other option. They were running out of time. Ada knew that nothing she said would change his mind, so she did the only thing she could do. She prayed for him and asked God to protect him. Obinna returned to Chairman and agreed to take the job. Chairman was pleased. Normally, he would only pay someone after the job was completed. But because he knew Obinna's situation and trusted him, he agreed to give him the full 3.5 million naira upfront. He simply warned him not to disappoint him. And Chairman had every reason to trust him. Obinna had worked for him for years and had never failed him. The moment Obinna received the money, he rushed straight to the hospital and paid the balance as promised. The doctor was delighted to see him. He told Obinna that his mother was responding very well to the treatment. For the first time in a long while, Obinna felt a wave of relief. He went into his mother's room with Ada, and seeing her looking stronger brought tears of happiness to their eyes. But there was still one thing left to do. The day came for Obinna to carry out Chairman's assignment. With his heart pounding and fear running through him, he went to the agreed location and completed the delivery exactly as Chairman had instructed. Thankfully, everything went smoothly. When Chairman heard what happened, he was impressed. He told Obinna that he had carried out the job more smoothly than some of his own men ever had. Chairman was pleased. But Obinna felt something completely different. Relief. He had done what he needed to do, he had gotten the money for his mother, and for the moment, he believed the worst was finally behind him. What Obinna didn't know was that by accepting Chairman's help, he had unknowingly stepped into a world he would soon find very difficult to escape.
Obinna, I tell you say make we try am again.
You know too hard like that.
My children, make una leave that thing first. I don't cook special food for una.
Mama, make I help you.
No, sit down. I no wan stress you. I don't do everything already. Okay, no problem, my daughter.
Hello, sir.
Come to the lounge, now!
And that was how Chairman called Obinna for the second time. This time, he wanted him to execute an even bigger and far more dangerous job. Obinna hesitated, but this time, it was no longer about money. Chairman threatened his family, making it clear that if Obinna refused, he would make them disappear. Obinna already knew exactly what that meant. This time, Obinna kept everything to himself. He didn't tell Ada because he didn't want to put more fear in her heart. Instead, he quietly went behind his family's back and carried out the dangerous job, knowing very well that it could cost him his life. Luckily for Obinna, the job went smoothly. Somehow, he had a way of succeeding where others failed. When it was over, Chairman was pleased with the result, but something else bothered him. He had become suspicious of Obinna. He feared that one day, Obinna might betray him. So Chairman turned to his men and gave them a chilling order. He wanted Obinna eliminated.
I no longer trust that boy. I want him eliminated. No problem, sir. We can handle it immediately. But with all the chaos going on right now, wouldn't it be better if we let his friends do it? There'll be less suspicion. His friends? I'm sure they will agree, for the right amount of money. I like that idea. Make it happen. Just make sure it gets done.
Yes, sir. We need to talk about Obinna. Hey, wetin do Obinna? My boss wants him eliminated. Wait, wetin you talk? 500 million naira. You eliminate him, and the money was straight into your account. I beg. I no do. I have a proposal for you. 500 million naira. All you have to do is eliminate Obinna. Are you serious? Don't ever come to me with something like this again. If you want to do it, go and do it yourself. Obinna, you need to be very careful with Chairman. His boys just came to me with an offer of 500 million naira to eliminate you. Please, my brother, be careful. Your friend Obinna, Chairman wants him eliminated. He's willing to pay you 100 million naira. 100 million? Yes. You eliminate Obinna and the money is yours. All right, I'm available. Just send the money. You sure you want to do this? Just send the money. I'll handle it.
Obinna, be careful, oh. Chairman boys offered me 500 million naira to eliminate you. That man is a very bad man. Since we were children, everything has always been about Obinna. And now Chairman is giving me 100 million to finally remove him from my way. Maybe this is finally my chance to stop living in Obinna's shadow.
Ike had been Obinna's friend long before either of them understood what friendship truly meant. From primary school, through secondary school, and all the way to university, the two boys were almost inseparable. They studied together, played together, faced life together, and grew up believing that nothing could ever come between them. Ike was brilliant. He was hardworking, ambitious, and full of potential. In university, he graduated with a first-class upper, the kind of result that should have opened doors for him everywhere. And for a while, it did. Ike got opportunities. He made money. His future looked promising. But somewhere along the line, Ike began making choices that slowly destroyed everything he had worked for. He started moving with the wrong crowd. Then came drugs. Then alcohol. And eventually, betting became an obsession. Every time money entered his hands, instead of building his future, he chased the next big win. He would lose everything, promise himself he was done, then return and bet again. Little by little, the brilliant young man who once had everything going for him became trapped in a cycle of debt, desperation, and disappointment. The most painful part. Ike had actually gotten a job. Obinna hadn't. But while Obinna was still struggling to find his own path, Ike kept losing the opportunities that came his way. He couldn't hold on to jobs. There was always one problem or another. One bad decision. One reckless night. One more bet. Eventually, the first-class graduate who once dreamed of a better life found himself doing labor jobs just to survive. And instead of looking at the choices that had brought him there, Ike began looking at Obinna. Somehow, in his mind, Obinna became the reason his own life had gone wrong. He became jealous of Obinna's progress. He felt entitled to the things Obinna had. And deep down, Ike began believing that life had somehow cheated him. But life hadn't cheated Ike. Ike had simply spent years destroying opportunities that were already in his hands. And now, after everything they had been through together, that jealousy was about to turn their childhood friendship into something much darker. Ike wasn't just willing to betray Obinna. He was finally ready to destroy the very friend who had once stood beside him through everything.
This one where they carry laptop everywhere you go now, wetin dey happen? You know they ever rest again? Now one tech work where my wife they push me make I do. I just they try am small. Maybe something will come out of am. Ah, no wahala. Barman, bring us 2 drinks. Ah, wetin dey happen? Okay, I dey come now. My guy, no verse. Person just call me. Stay now, no go anywhere. I need to go help my people do something. We'll go see later now. What about your drink? No worry, I go carry am. I go drink am for road. Okay, no wahala.
My husband! My husband! Come and see what I see for your email.
And that was
Wetin
how
happen?
Obinna received the news he never expected, an invitation to work in Canada with his wife and family by his side. It was a day of pure joy.
The Lord has done it! Finally!
With joy still overflowing in his heart, Obinna could not wait to share the news with his friends. At their next hangout, he happily told them that he would soon be leaving for Canada. He was excited, proud, and completely unaware that this announcement would become one of the biggest mistakes of his life. Ike was already troubled. The poison he had prepared earlier, at Chairman's request, had failed. And now, hearing that Obinna was about to leave the country and start an even better life only made the bitterness inside him grow stronger. His friend John, however, was genuinely happy for him. He congratulated Obinna and even asked him to teach him whatever steps had helped him secure such an incredible opportunity. But then there was Ike. And Solomon. Solomon was another man carrying deep jealousy in his heart. Unlike Ike, he did not have the courage to act on his own hatred, but that did not make his intentions any less dangerous. Neither man could be called a true friend anymore. Because as Obinna celebrated his breakthrough, something dark began taking shape in the minds of both men. For years, they had convinced themselves that they were better than Obinna. But now, the friend they had looked down on was about to become the one living the life they desperately wanted. And they could not stand it. That announcement was all they needed. The jealousy inside them finally turned into a shared decision. They would find another way to eliminate Obinna.
Obinna no fit travel abroad over my dead body. Everywhere we go, then they talk say na him dey make am for life. Now he wan travel go Canada. Make we see how he go take travel.
So wetin we go do? We eliminate am. I dey fully support am. Make we see how he go take travel now.
And that was the beginning of the conspiracy between Solomon and Ike to eliminate Obinna. Two men who had once called themselves his friends were now secretly working together to destroy his future. They tried everything they could think of. Again and again, they searched for different ways to bring Obinna down. They attempted dangerous schemes, sought the help of others, and even turned to dark spiritual practices, hoping that something, anything, would finally stop him. And throughout it all, Chairman remained behind the scenes, quietly sponsoring the plans against Obinna. But there was one thing Ike never told Solomon. He never revealed that Chairman was behind everything. Ike wanted to keep the money and the connection to Chairman for himself. He did not want Solomon asking questions or demanding a share of the reward. So Solomon continued believing that they were acting alone. And strangely enough, even after everything that happened, Obinna never truly understood where all the danger was coming from. He blamed bad luck. He blamed bad luck. He blamed the devil. Sometimes, he even convinced himself that his village people were working against him. He had no idea that the greatest danger was coming from people he once called his friends. But there was something Obinna did that unknowingly protected him. He listened to his wife. He listened to his mother. Whenever they warned him to be careful, they begged him not to tell everyone his plans. His wife especially condemned him for sharing too much with his friends in the first place. She reminded him that not everyone celebrating with you genuinely wants to see you succeed. His mother told him the same thing in her own way. Keep your plans quiet. Tell nobody more than they need to know. Let God lead you. And Obinna listened. That simple decision may have saved his life. Because while Solomon and Ike were working behind his back, planning and plotting against him, Obinna was unknowingly protecting himself simply by keeping his mouth shut and following the advice of the two women who loved him most. They had no idea how close evil had come to their doorstep. They had no idea how many times danger had been waiting right in front of them. But somehow, every plan against Obinna kept failing, and the more they tried, the more their own lives began to fall apart. The evil they intended for Obinna kept finding its way back to them. Their plans collapsed. Their opportunities disappeared. Their problems multiplied. And eventually, the very people who wanted to destroy Obinna were the ones left struggling with the consequences of their own choices. Meanwhile, Obinna's life moved in the opposite direction. The opportunity he had almost lost became the beginning of a completely new chapter. Obinna, his wife, his mother, eventually traveled successfully to Canada. They left behind the fear, the struggle, the betrayal, and the people who had secretly wished for their downfall. And from that point forward, their lives continued to grow. They worked. They built. They prospered. And little by little, they became bigger and stronger than they had ever imagined. Looking back, Obinna may never fully understand just how many times God protected him from dangers he never even knew existed. Sometimes, the greatest battles in our lives are battles we never see. Sometimes, the people smiling beside us are fighting battles against us in secret. And sometimes, the best protection is simply listening to wise counsel, keeping your plans private, and allowing God to lead you. Because jealousy can make people forget years of friendship. Greed can make people betray the people who trusted them. And evil plans can destroy the person who created them before they ever reach their intended target. But above all, this story reminds us that what is meant for you cannot be stolen by another person's jealousy. If you truly enjoyed this story, I hope you were entertained, but more importantly, I hope you took something meaningful from it. I hope it reminded you to be careful about who you trust, to protect your plans, to listen to the people who genuinely love you, and never allow another person's jealousy to make you doubt the path God has prepared for you. And if this story touched you in any way, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your subscription means so much to me. It encourages me to keep creating more stories, more lessons, and more unforgettable moments for you. Thank you so much for staying with me all the way to the end. I truly appreciate you. And until the next story, remember, not everyone who smiles with you is happy for you, but when God is protecting you, even the plans made against you can become the very things that lead you to your breakthrough. Thank you for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss the next story.